Everyone is focused on the same overpriced neighborhoods in Tucson, but the real opportunity for 2026 lies in these 6 suburbs that most buyers completely overlook. In this video, I'm going to talk about where the growth, infrastructure, jobs, and everything else are lining up. And stay tuned because I'm going to share 2 that are my top pick, the ones that I'm personally betting on. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Rich. My family's lived in Tucson for over 150 years, and for the last 15 years, I've worked professionally in real estate right here in Tucson. So if you want to know everything there is to know about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Tucson and the greater Tucson area, you've come to the right place. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned in and tap the bell for notifications so that you don't miss a thing. As we dive in, let's talk about how I picked these 6 suburbs as the ones that are expected to explode in 2026. Now, among things like jobs, infrastructure, housing pipeline, affordability, and amenities, there is a lot to consider when you're starting to dissect a big metro area like Tucson and come up with these 6 suburbs. Now, the first one is Metro Momentum. And according to Arizona.edu, Tucson experienced 0.6%, so almost a 0.5% of growth this year. Nothing super significant. However, it is very steady. And you compare that to the population now totaling close to 1.1 million residents. That growth rate ranks Tucson number 8 out of the Western MSAs. And as they noted in this article, Tucson's population growth has steadily increased since 2010. The next thing to consider is how much migration matters. 2024 growth across Arizona was migration driven. And without migration, Tucson would have declined for sure, but still added 11,500 people last year. That's why entry price suburbs near jobs and infrastructure are winning right now, even in a tough market. Now, for the filters that I used nearby jobs, some of the biggest job hubs like Raytheon, U of A Tech Park, Amazon, the airport. I also located and tried to focus on any road projects like Aerospace Parkway, some of the bigger ones in southern Arizona, Sonoran corridor, and the downtown links area. Another filter that I used is new home supply. So where active builders have the most activity and active approvals, and where we're seeing the most permits being pulled. Another factor is price to income. Taking into account what the price of homes are, making sure we're comparing that to the income levels, both median and household incomes, to make sure that these suburbs are lining up with those factors as well. Lastly, lifestyle hooks was another thing that I focused on. Things like parks, trails, hiking, access to the loop, and any other big major draw. As I bring up the map, I'm gonna walk you through just some visual, so you can kind of get a visual of the Tucson layout if you're not familiar. Maybe you are familiar, maybe you've watched some of these videos before. Now, first up is the Vail and specifically Rocking K area. Now, why this is set to pop, U of A Tech Park is comprised of 85 plus companies. There's thousands of employees, and because of that, it's a huge anchor to Southeast jobs and a base that serves for that. Now, it has continued tenant growth. You couple that with the workforce pipeline with the University of Arizona and Pima Community College. This is an incredible option for some of the biggest employers to house their employees, or whether they're already in Tucson and looking for room to grow, or whether they're relocating to Tucson. Rocking K community is already comprised of about 950 occupied homes, but get this, the plan is to build out 4,000 plus homes at a full build out. That is a lot of runway to go. We're not even a quarter of the way there. This community is very robust with parks, trail networks. It is adjacent to Saguaro National Park East as well. So if you like outdoor lifestyle, well, let's face it, if you're watching this video and considering moving to Tucson, chances are you like outdoor lifestyle. And because of that, Rocking K is an incredible place to consider. If you haven't driven by Rocking K, if you are in Tucson or you're visiting Tucson, this community and the drive-in is amazing. You got stunning Rincon Mountains, you've got lush desert landscape and rolling hills. You do see the Santa Catalina Mountains off in the distance as well. It is very rural feeling, yet it's not like it's 45 minutes to most amenities. Most amenities like Target, Walmart, Costco. All of that is going to be within about 30, maybe 35 minutes for some restaurants, dining, entertainment, stuff like that. The majority of what you're going to want, though, is within 20 to 30 minutes. Now, one factor that I considered with this that I'm keeping an eye on is the Sonoran corridor. That is a proposed connection between I-19 and I-10. And also the Aerospace Parkway improvements are going to be in place to support better job access near Raytheon, which is another one of the largest employers in the area. Now, who's this for? Rocking K is really going to be for people who are looking for new builds, buyers wanting Vail school districts, because Vail school district is ranked one of the best school districts in the state. And again, people who really enjoy an outdoor lifestyle. You've got all of these trailheads out here that are just incredible for hiking, biking, backpacking, day trip, multi-day trip, whatever you have in store. Now for pricing, Rocking K has several different builders from Meritage Homes to DR Horton. Pulte has a Del Webb community out there. So there's a 55 and up option as well. The majority of the homes that they're building in this area are not age restricted, but they do have an age restricted portion if you're looking for that as well. Now, entry points are typically below what you would see in luxury Northwest areas, and value is definitely increased compared to what you would get in, say, the foothills. Couple things to watch out for: commute time. If you work west or north, you definitely want to drive it, because it's not exactly convenient it's not too bad of a drive to I-10, but when traffic picks up, a lot of congestion can happen on these streets that aren't yet, the infrastructure isn't yet there during peak rush hour time to support the amount of incoming and outgoing traffic. So that is one thing to pay attention to. You're going to get a little bottleneck during those peak commute times. The other thing to pay attention to is the flight path for Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, because during their training sessions, you can hear some of that noise as well. Next up, we're gonna go to another suburb not too far away from Rocking K. We're gonna head a little bit further west over here to Valencia Crossing. Valencia Crossing is has direct proximity to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. So anyone who is planning on commuting to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, this is going to be a great option for you, because it has direct access to the Air Force Base and Tucson International Airport. So you've got access to both. Since you are so closely located to I-10, you also have super convenient access to Amazon and logistics, and you have access to the bike loop, which is a big draw for anyone who enjoys running, biking, rollerblading. You've got that dedicated pathway that runs and crisscrosses for 130 miles all over Tucson, and you do have access very, very close to Valencia Crossing. Now, as far as pricing, the current pricing is around low to mid 300s. You've got buildable plans from 330,000 to about 400,000. Square footage, typically you're going to see about 1,300 square foot to about 2,300 square foot, single story and two-story options out there. So it is great for entry level pricing, really high marks for affordability. If you're a first-time home buyer or workforce buyer, this is a great option because of its convenience, its affordability, and you get to buy new. A couple things to look out for are noise. Because you are bordered by two of the biggest airports in Southern Arizona, both Davis-Monthan Air Force and our Tucson International Airport, you're going to hear traffic, mainly from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, whether it be the F-16s or the A-10s. They're going to make some noise, and depending on what type of drills they're doing, you're definitely going to hear it. Now, I've lived in central Tucson most of my life. As far as hearing air traffic, it's something that I've become accustomed to. There are times where it seems to be more noticeable, but overall it does kind of blend in like white noise. I guess, if you've lived on a busy street or near a busy street, it bothers you probably at first, and then it just becomes kind of white noise in the background. And then there's some people that I talk to that absolutely love the noise of jets. So whatever category you're in, that's just a little insight, because I am familiar with that noise, living in central Tucson as long as I have. Other thing that you're going to want to look out for at Valencia Crossing is specific lots and the buffers for those lots. They do have high density lots there, so they're packing in quite a few houses in a relatively smaller area. You know, premium lots without neighbors on one side or behind you are going to be limited supply, so keep that in mind. Next up, we're going to zoom out and we're going to head northwest, deep northwest to Marana in an area called Gladden Farms. Now, Gladden Farms is part of this Tangerine corridor west of I-10, and this is a very large master plan community. The reason that I picked this is because there's a huge housing need. There's an independent study through Arizona League that indicated 14,000 new houses are going to be needed between 2024 and 2045. So over the next about 20 years, the demand for this area is huge. And there's an underproduction and growth dilemma in this area that they're trying desperately to keep up with. Because this is one of the larger master plan communities, certainly in the last decade, it is an amenity magnet. You've got 850 acres of green space, incredible parks, pools, you've got dog parks, there's lots of activities going on, walking paths. They do community events quite frequently as well. It really is a tight-knit, vibrant community for all ages. Anyone and everyone who's looking to have a community feel, this really has a lot to like about it. 31 parks, 14 plus miles of trails. They've got splash pads, and because of a lot of those family amenities, it is a big draw for younger kids. Now, there is a lot of momentum in the town of Marana as well. When you look at the budget and capital docs, they point towards continued desirability and investment. Now, who is this for? It's really for anyone, if you've got small kids wanting a big amenity master planned community with easy I-10 access, or if you're looking for something where you want to get in a really nice community with a lot of amenities, you want to be very conveniently located at I-10, and you're looking to stretch your dollar as far as you possibly can. Couple things to watch out for. HOA scopes can vary. This is a master planned HOA area, so something to check out. You can look at the HOA bylaws. All of that information is readily available, so check that out. Expect steady new supply. It's good for choices because there are a lot of different houses, styles, a lot of different size homes. Also, expect new supply, steady new supply. There's going to be building that goes on in Gladden Farms for quite some time. Now, it's good for choice. There's going to be a lot of things to choose from ongoing, but it is going to moderate price pressure. So if you're a homeowner looking to someone to buy into this neighborhood, you have to know that if you're looking to sell in, say, the next 5 to 10 years, you are going to be up against most likely some of the biggest national builders that are still continuing to build new builds that you're going to be directly competing with. Now, as a reminder, for those of you that don't know, I've worked professionally as a real estate appraiser and a realtor for over 15 years. And in that time, I've helped a couple thousand people just like you buy a house here in Southern Arizona. So whether you're looking today or whether you're looking to make a move a year from today, let's get connected. You can grab my contact information out of the description below. I'll put it on screen for convenience right here. You can call, text, email, or schedule a free Zoom consult so we can meet face to face. Next up, we're gonna go to Rancho Sahuarita. That's down south. So we're gonna take I-10 all the way down south past central Tucson to Rancho Sahuarita. Now, talking about master plan communities, in the early 2000s, this was the master plan community. I can remember this was the talk of Tucson because they had built a man-made lake here. They were giving away, if I remember one of the incentives they were doing correctly, I was young, but I remember my parents talking about it. They were giving away a sailboat with certain home purchases. We're not talking like a big sailboat. It's like a 2-person sailboat that you can sail up and down this man-made lake. And if you're watching this video from anywhere with actual lakes, you would laugh. But you know, being in the desert, us desert people, we got to appreciate any body of water that is wet. That's really the criteria. It's not even about size. It's just, if it's wet, it's considered a lake. Some puddles are considered lakes. But Rancho Sahuarita really started its stride in the early 2000s. This is another area to keep your eyes on for 2026. Now, one of the main reasons is because year over year, this has continued to be one of the most in-demand suburbs. It is a very mature suburb of Tucson with 6,000 homes, 18,000 residents as part of the master plan community with clubs, a lake, puts on events, and it's still adding phases. Another reason that I really like this for continued growth, especially on the horizon of 2026, is the town vision. You couple that with a steady population gain. 2024 estimated about 37,000 people according to sahuarita.gov. Now, who does this suit the best? Anyone looking for value, anyone who doesn't mind a relatively short commute, again, 30, 40 minutes to most things, 90% of things that people are gonna wanna do. And it does have a resort style amenity and feel to it without the Northwest premiums that if you were to compare, you'll see a pretty big price discrepancy in favor of Rancho Sahuarita. Now, a couple things to watch out for. Commute times can creep up, especially if you're northwest. If there is rush hour, that I-10 corridor can get a little clogged up as well. Check mine truck routes and train timing as well, because if you're coming into town, you could be waiting behind a train. And also there could be a lot of truck activity because of nearby mines. Next up, we're gonna go to Dove Mountain, back north. Dove Mountain is one of the top luxury markets in southern Arizona, and it is located here right at the foothills of the Tortolita mountain range. Now, why I've got my eye on this area is because it has a magnetism to it, and there's several different factors that cause that. One of the biggest ones is the Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz-Carlton is located right in the heart of Dove Mountain, one of the most exclusive resorts in southern Arizona. Now, Dove Mountain in general is really designed for luxury. It's got a large percentage of its master plan community designated to open space. That's to help create and preserve privacy, a feel of separation, a feel of exclusivity. There's 50 plus miles of nearby trails. They have incredible dark sky ordinances for stargazing, and there's something like 80 plus holes of championship golf in this area. So if any of that strikes an interest, it is definitely one to keep an eye on. Its ongoing brand draw, as I've talked about, and its premium amenities sustain move-up buyers and second home demand. Who is this ideal for? Anyone who's looking for something more resort style, maybe even something a little bit more luxurious. If you're looking for active adults, or if you're looking for outdoors, those are three very high marks that Dove Mountain does not disappoint on. A couple things to note, to look out for: there are higher HOAs and property taxes specific to certain enclaves. So you're going to want to check out the specific areas and neighborhoods that you're interested in. The other thing too is you are going to be paying a premium price in Dove Mountain, not only because of its demand, but because of its luxury nature. All right, and finally, we're going to head a little bit further east from Dove Mountain, and we're going to go to Rancho Vistoso. Now, Rancho Vistoso is part of Oro Valley, and why I think this is set to pop, because Innovation Park, the Oro Valley business ecosystem, along with the high household incomes, Vistoso Trails Nature Preserve, which is a 6.2 mile path, all of that combines to enhance the lifestyle and the value that this area provides. It's got stable schools, an incredible trail network with Catalina State Park right to the east of it. Now, who is this for? Professionals and retirees wanting views, parks, access to outdoor activities, and strong amenities and convenience. Now, a couple things to look out for. Oro Valley is one of the most popular areas in the Northwest Corridor. Rancho Vistoso, definitely a very well-established area where you're gonna find a lot of resale comparing to new builds in the area as well. There is quite a bit of competition for listings that can still occur, so that is something to keep in mind as well. As a bonus, I'm gonna mention two other areas you can keep your eyes on, because those could be ones that were kind of a toss-up in this video whether I should include them or not, but I think they're honorable mentions. The first one is Star Valley. Now, Star Valley is out west off of Ajo, and it is located Valencia and Ajo, Star Valley here. You've got a lot of builder activity there, a lot of newer stock. It's got proximity to I-19. Check commute times, but I think, I've worked with a lot of people who enjoy living out here, both who have lived there just recently purchased, but also people who have lived out there for many, many years. there is quite a large future retail pipeline that is likely to continue. And you're close to Casino del Sol, and you've got a lot of outdoor activities that you can do. Tucson Trap and Skeet Club. You've got hiking, dirt biking, off-roading access as well. Whatever you're into, I think this is a great area to be able to keep your sights on. Now, the other area is the Valencia Old Vail Ranch area. So we're going to head back east. So Old Vail Road, here off of Colossal Cave and Old Vail Road, there is quite a bit of commercial infrastructure that's happened. You can see a Dairy Queen. They've got kind of a small commercial strip mall that's going in here, restaurants, and they've got some conveniences as well. There's some conveniences here, Safeway, you got Walgreens, you got some fast food over here as well. And this Old Vail Road is starting to develop. There's quite a bit of value in Vail. When we're working with buyers who are looking in Vail and we're comparing this Old Vail area to other areas of Vail, there is definitely a price discrepancy in favor of this area. So you're going to see several different builders, Meritage being one of them, which is one of my favorite builders. And so definitely an area to keep tabs on because of pricing, affordability, and it's still being located in the coveted Vail School District. Now, before I share with you my 2 top picks out of these 6, I did want to remind you that Tucson's growth is very much migration powered. So suburbs with job access, new roads, those tend to outperform. Always cross-check flight paths, flood zones, and any major roadway plans before you pick a lot, because those can be some of the most obvious things or some of the easiest things to identify and remove any type of friction or any type of headache. All right, so my number 1 pick is going to be the Vail Rocking K community. If you guessed that, you probably have watched some of my other videos. These are all great options, and I do believe that the Rocking K area is number 1 on my list. Out of the reasons that we've discussed: jobs, schools, outdoor activities, and access to outdoor stuff, a corridor upside, and improvement. And we've got a lot of proposed commercial infrastructure that is going to be in conversation over the next several years. So I think it's just a really exciting time to discover Rocking K and get in early. Number 2 is going to be probably arguably the most competitive master plan community to Rocking K, but in a completely different area, and that would be Gladden Farms. So the Gladden Farms area, it has a very similar feel, to be honest with you, to Rocking K. Feels kind of rustic, kind of rural. There's some nuanced differences for sure, but Gladden Farms definitely has a leg up in terms of its many years ahead. Now, because the Arizona Department of Transportation website is indicating that there's indicated 14,000 more homes that are needed through 2045, that's a pretty substantial amount of growth for this area. So again, an opportunity to get in early. It already has a lot of those amenities. It's more convenient than Rocking K to the interstate, no, hands down. No question about that. They are many more years along in the process, so they've got a lot of that commercial infrastructure like Fry's that just hit, Jersey Mike's. You've got a QT over here. And there's going to be a lot more commercial infrastructure that is going to be right there in Gladden Farms, certainly much sooner than where Rocking K is. And because of that, I think that it's a very solid number 2. Now, if you're looking to relocate into Tucson or one of the greater Tucson areas, grab my contact information out of the description below. I'll put it on screen right here for convenience. Let's get connected so we can explore just what options you have in front of you and how I can get you the best deal in today's market. Thank you so much for watching, and drop a comment below. Which of these 6 suburbs do you think fits you the best? I personally review and respond to all of those comments, and I can't wait to find out which one is hitting the spot for you.